Welcome back, fellow geeks. Now, it's that time of the month again, and you know what that means. It is time for the unboxing of the October subscription of MakerBox. And this box has some really cool filaments and some really nice discounts in it. Now, first off, on the top, as always, you have some basic information about memberships and about some of the different filaments that you find inside with links for helpful solutions to problems that may arise and even settings. You also have their links to their social medias on the lid. So it's a great place to share your prints and show off what you made with the samples each month. Now, first off here on top, of course, you have the standard MakerBox sticker, which is a nice sticker. And if you're a subscriber, you, like myself, have a ton of these now. You also have a hint moving forward of what you'll find inside with a Proto-Pasta sticker. Now, it's a cool filament that you'll find out a little bit more in a second. Next, you have a 3-month free subscription to Trimpe, which is a website repository that has models that are 100% guaranteed to print on your desktop printer. So if you haven't checked them out, I would. Free 3 months. So definitely find something to print on there. Even possibly find something to print with your samples, which I look forward to seeing. First on top here, you find the first of a couple different filaments making a return to the MakerBox. And this is the MakerGeeks.com Raptor PLA. Now, this has a print temp of 220 to 240, which really isn't traditional PLA print settings and is slightly high. Now, this is more traditional and does not require a bed temperature. But, again, on the non-traditional side, it has a speed of 60 to 70 millimeters a second. So, it's a fairly quick print speed, so we'll definitely have to test that out and possibly run through this sample very quickly. Now, this is a annealable filament, meaning this can be heat treated, and there's other filaments like this out on the market if you're familiar with Proto-Pasta, who has been in the box previously, and we'll actually talk more about in a minute, who had their aromatic coffee filament a few months ago, which was also heat treatable. So we'll have to give that a test. It only recommends 5 to 10 minutes at 100 Celsius, so definitely have to check that out. Now, if you aren't familiar with MakerGeeks, I recently did a video, a part of my This Week in 3D Printing, recapping MakerGeeks' new launch of their own subscription box. So it's interesting to find them in MakerBox still, as that one kicks off at the end of this month. Now, next in this month's box, you have a glow-in-the-dark filament, which is another return of Formfura glow-in-the-dark PLA. Now, this is a interesting filament, as I've never been able to get my hands on a glow-in-the-dark filament, so it's definitely something I want to try out. And if you have any recommendations for what I should print, please feel free to comment below. Now, this has a more traditional print setting than the Raptor from MakerGeeks, with a 200 to 220 degree hot end and 35 to 60 heated bed. Now, this also has a traditional print speed between 30 and 60 millimeters a second. Now, they also recommend a hardened nozzle, as this filament is claimed to be very abrasive. Now, for me, I have a hardened steel nozzle on my E3D, so this will not be a challenge for me. There really isn't enough filament here to do too much damage if you have a standard brass nozzle, but it still warns you, and I would adhere to their warning. And if you have the ability to change nozzles to a hard nozzle, I would do so just as a precaution. Now, you also have their filament discount code on the bottom here. And I haven't checked this, but these QR codes are now supposed to be linked to the websites to find optimal print settings and other information about these filaments, so I would definitely check that out. Now, the next filament you have in here is a filament I've played around recently with, and that is the 3D Monumental. Now, this one is a marble based filament. They just took marble and they ground it up and threw it in with a mixture of plastic. Now, in my past experiences, they have made quite different filaments, mostly for architecture and archaeological fields, as it has a really nice finish and really does look kind of like a marble, as close as you can get to a marble. Now, I previously have tried some of their filaments, and I have found that they really do stick to the higher ends of these recommended settings. The hot ends between 220 and 240. I found it was closer to the 240 mark, and a bed temperature of 90 to 115. Now, on my Robo 3D, my bed only goes up to 95, and I, as a glass bed, only typically use a Elmer's glue stick or occasionally blue painter's tape, and I could not get this to stick and not warp to save my life previously, which is a problem for me because I can't go any higher. So I would definitely give this a try, see what you can do with it, but I would definitely try to stick to the higher ends of their temperatures. This one also comes with a 30% off code on their website. One thing I would warn you about is their filaments are sold through resellers and not their actual website. So it can take a little bit of time to get this in the mail, but I would not let that discourage you if you have great results with this. I highly encourage you to test this out and give it a shot. Now, the next filament in here is the matte fiber HT-PLA. This is another heat-treated filament, and this is another new filament by Proto-Pasta, if you got the hint from the sticker saying on top of the box. Now, this is a great filament. It's actually a plant-based filament with a mixture similar to how they do their carbon fiber. Now, I actually bought this when they first released it in blue, and I loved it. Printed the entire spool without a problem, and actually had a client order a slightly large order, took up most of the spools, so I'm glad to get more of this back in my hands. And if you were not aware, Proto-Pasta on election day ran a 48-hour sale offering 50% off their matte fiber filaments. Now, they have a range of colors. They keep on coming out with more. They have a blue, red, green, white, gray, and a black. So definitely excited about this. The hot end temperatures here are between 90 and 230. I found the optimal temperature on my Open Robo 3D at 215. And just as a basic PLA, I set my heated bed to 50 with Elmer's glue. Now, it is a glass bed, and I would try without temperature on your heated bed. I just try 50 degrees, as that's just a standard for me. Something I will play around with this sample. Now, this is a plant-based fiber, and it can be heat treated to make it stiffer and a more strong model. Now, they also give a $4 off purchase on Proto-Pasta.com, so I'd highly recommend checking them out. They are currently working on seasonal filaments. A cinnamon-based and possibly a pine-based might make its return this year, so definitely be on the lookout for them. They have some really nice filaments that you do not want to miss out. Definitely give them a try. Now, that kind of concludes this episode of the unboxing of the MakerBox October. So if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, like always, please feel free to comment below. Smash the like button, subscribe. It really helps me out knowing what you guys are thinking, what you guys want to see. Now, as always, stay tuned to the Monday uploads of This Week in 3D Printing. It's a great source for 3D printing news. And as always, feel free to subscribe and like. Now, until next time, keep printing.